Hi, I'm Anna from BeautyGirlsMom.com, and I'm here today with my cousin Margaret. She's fabulous. And we are going to talk about whether or not it's worth it to spend the money to go to Disney's Animal Kingdom. I think we're going to have an opposing viewpoint here. So we'll let Margaret start.
The pros and the cons.
The pros and the cons.
Okay.
So we'll let you start.
So how old are they? They're 9 and 10. So when they were 7 and 8, I took them to the Animal Kingdom. When we went back a second time, we did throw the Animal Kingdom in because we like the Lion King. Mm-hmm. We like Finding Nemo. I love Rafiki. So I did want them to see the Tree of Life. I wanted them to experience it's tough being a bug. Because when I was younger, when I was in 8th grade or 7th grade, that came out and I loved it. So I wanted them to see it. Although it was closed because they're getting ready for Avatar. Well, when we were there, it was closed. But I did want them to see, like, the sculptures in the tree. Like, I wanted them to see all that. But, oh, my gosh, they hated it. Like, they hated every second of it. The only thing they liked was the Yeti.
Expedition Everest?
Yes, that was the only... We went on that maybe 4 times, and they wanted to leave. I tried to show them, like, you know... I tried to, like, okay, now we're in Asia, now we're like, they could care less. And then I thought about it, and it was like, one of the kids was like, I feel like we should have just went to the zoo. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's right. Like, at our Six Flags, we can take a safari, just very similar to their safari. They were bored. Yet again. The sightseeing, like, it was, I have the pictures, but they just wanted to go back to the hotel to go to the pool. It was hot, I'll give them that. And it wasn't their favorite. And then I started to get like, you know what, I'd rather be at Hollywood Studios or the Magic Kingdom, where I feel like there might be more for them to do and look at versus just like knowing, like, don't throw paper on the ground and recycle and animals are in danger. I feel like maybe I could have told them that from a book, because everywhere we turned it was like, don't do this because animals die, and don't do that. And the conservation station, they weren't a fan, but I was, because I knew Rafiki would be there. Then they had like little dance parties with characters that I haven't seen for years, and they didn't know who it was, and I got kind of annoyed, like, okay, I think I'm over this. And I think watching them get annoyed got me annoyed, because I felt like, okay, you're going to smile, take the picture, da-da-da-da-da. But they wanted to leave, so we did end up leaving early, and they were as happy as could be in the pool, swimming with each other, having fun. And I was just like, we're officially never going back there until Avatar World is done.
So, I love Animal Kingdom, but I recognize everything that you said as complaints that I've heard from other people. Part of the reason I think I enjoy Animal Kingdom so much is that it is a half-day park for us. We don't ever spend a full day from start to close at Animal Kingdom. But with an annual pass or with like Jim's discounted military tickets, I don't feel like I've wasted as much money to go in and come out. My kids have the same thing. They will do Expedition Everest 3 or 4 times. It's their favorite. We do It's Tough to Be a Bug. I love the Lion King show. I could sit there all day and watch it.
We were elephants, and they were just like sitting there. They're like, get your trunks, and they were just sitting, like, they wanted to get up and exit. And I was like, no, we waited how long in that hot line? We're sitting through this. Like, they could care less about. They did say they liked the Finding Nemo show.
And I think that's another thing that a lot of people complain about. There are not as many places to get out of the sun, to cool off. There aren't as many, I guess, paths along the way where you can walk through the shops to get where you want to go. So if you're there in July and August, it's really hot.
No, it is.
Really hot. So we tend to go, again, first thing in the morning. We get in and we're usually done around noon. But with all the stuff that's coming to Animal Kingdom, including the Rivers of Light show, it's going to make it a full day park. I really think it's going to make it a full day park, which means Disney is going to have to at some point address the fact that it is boiling hot there in July and August, and people don't want to walk around where they can't walk through a shop and cool off for 10 minutes. The way it's set up now, you have to almost walk all the way back to the entrance of the park to spend 15 or 20 minutes browsing a shop. There just aren't a lot of opportunities to get out of the really hot weather. They're going to have to put in more misting fans or do something for people to cool down. When Animal Kingdom first opened, they used to really push, it was NAHTAZU, not to zoo, which really meant this is not a zoo. You're coming to this place and it's going to be so much more than a zoo is. And they really push the conservation thing. But you're right, if you go to the Philadelphia Zoo now, they push the conservation thing. You can get a lot of the things that Disney talks about.
Right, and which is nice, like to let the kids know that this species might be endangered, and you know, if you're gonna throw those plastic like soda can things out, cut them. So if an animal gets to it, it's not over their mouth and they can get out, which it's all very nice, but it could have been done at the zoo. Yeah. Back to the heat, I do want to say I appreciate those little fan bottles spray thing. I love them. I always buy them, but it just doesn't do it.
My kids always want them, and I think to myself, didn't I spend $25 last time?
Right. Well, no, I have ours. I have ours ready to go. I do have ours.
You're way more
organized. Buying a new one.
Yeah, you're way more organized.
No, I thought those were. When I saw that, I was like, yes, each of you get one. You're only getting one, but get them. And then you have to go fill, and they're like running to the tubes with the ice to go get the ice to put it in and then put it on themselves, and just like, oh, poor kids.
Yeah, it is really hot there, and I hope that they find ways to address it. And again, they can use, like Hollywood Studios has the singing in the rain thing where you can walk under the umbrella, or the Coke bottle that kind of sprays out. Is that at Universal or at Epcot or Hollywood Studios? Whatever it is, it's a Coke bottle that sprays the mist down on you. I think they're gonna need things like that.
And I know that when we go to Hollywood Studios, they're just happy that they can like just sit down. Like they'll find a place to sit down, where I felt like at the Animal Kingdom, yes, there were places to sit down, but I felt like it was if it wasn't for smoking, it was like a reserved dinner, or you were in line for something, so you just like sat over there like to hold your place in line. But where were we? We were in Hollywood Studios waiting for something, and like they just went and they sat and they found a cool shaded spot, where I felt like in Animal Kingdom that's not possible.
No, it's really hard. And I just showed Jim on our last trip there in December, when our kids were little, he would go on the rides with Bridget, and I would take Eilish in her stroller. Not long after you come into the park, there's almost like this little cave, and it has like a couple of small places to sit inside this cave. And I used to take the babies there to go, either Eilish or Granuel, depending on, what time of year or which kid we were there with. But I would go into this little cave, and we would sit for 30 or 40 minutes while Jim took the older kids on the rides, because it was one of the few places that I knew it was going to be cool, because there was no sun getting in there. There wasn't any like misting or anything like that, but at least I knew that I could get my kids out of the hot boiling sun. And I think that's one of the things this park really misses. So if you are there during really hot seasons, it's hard to make it a full day park. You really want to leave by 11 or 12 o'clock to get out of the sun.
And then it's like, well, did I just waste my money because all we did was go on this Yeti ride 5 million times? No, I guess not, because they're happy. But it's like, maybe I would have liked it if they were like, oh, the animals, it's nice. But then again, we go to Six Flags and they're on the safari. They see that animal.
Yeah.
And when you're on the safari, they have like this little pit stop, and you get to go feed a giraffe and go zip lining. And it's just like, they'd rather do that there than what we were doing at the Animal Kingdom. So the Animal Kingdom is off our list until Avatar is done.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people feel the same way, that they would not go back unless there were more attractions.
Or maybe if it was open later at night, which I believe it could start being with this new attraction, to where, because you are out like that, it will be a little cooler.
Yeah.
Maybe humid still, but just a tad bit cooler.
And if nothing else, once you pay that fee to get in for the day, you don't feel as bad doing the morning and leaving for a pool break if you know you're going to come back at 4 o'clock and see some of the evening attractions.
Right.
I actually love the safari there, and maybe that's why it's one of my favorites, more than I love the safari at Six Flags, but I haven't been to Six Flags.
Right. So what you don't know is that Six Flags, you can now get on like a Animal Kingdom Disney what do you call it, like a Jeep thing, and the sides come up and you drive through it. All that is now open but barred off, of course, and you drive through it just like in Disney World.
Yeah, so yeah, if you can do that experience at home too, that really does detract from the appeal of Animal Kingdom. So what are the attractions that you did when you were at Animal Kingdom?
Okay, we saw the shows. So we saw Finding Nemo, we saw The Lion King, we went to the conservation station, we went on that Yeti ride like 5 times. Was it Dinoland? And there was like a dinosaur ride. That whole little section back there with like the carts. We did not go into the Tree of Life, but we did take pictures in front of it. We did something else. The safari, the Congo Rapids. What is it called?
Cali River Rapids.
Yes, we went on the rapids and that was it. Then we went back on the Yeti and we left.
So you really did do, I would say, a bulk of the things that are available to do.
We did.
Because that's kind of with my kids. We start at the safari and we do the safari. They do Expedition Everest. They like to do that 2 or 3 times. So we will stand over there. We'll get a fast pass for there. We might be there for a good hour and a half, just having them get back on and off. We do It's Tough to Be a Bug. I love to do Lion King, so we usually do that. My kids have not seen the Finding Nemo show yet. I'm like,
really?
That loses me Mother of the Year award this year. They have not seen it, but it's not something that they're really interested in. And I think, again, going back to it's just so hot there. Once they're out in the heat, and now I've made them stand 40 minutes to wait to get into the Lion King, they don't want to stand anymore. But we try to end with Cali River Rapids so that before we go back to the hotel, they get that one big drench thing, and now we can like cool off on our way out of the park. But I can definitely see why a lot of people think it's only a half-day park doing those kind of things. I am Anna from BeautyGirlsMom.com. If you have any questions about the theme park or comments on Disney's Animal Kingdom, just leave them in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe wherever it appears on your screen.